You are looking live at the Nasdaq daily chart here, and Nasdaq was down today, 49 points or 0.3%, 30%, 0.30%. Closed at 16,128. And if I get this price indicator here, we can see if I zoom in a little bit, the Nasdaq, closing at 16,128, down 0.3, and the volume slightly ticked up, but you can see it's right there at the 10 EMA, just a tick above, 0.8% above the 21, and 3.5% above the 50, and it could make a trip to the 50, anytime it wants. That's why I want to show you the 50 all the time. I was asked by a friend to review the index from back in July. We were coming out of a bear market here in July of 2003, the old dot-com bear market combined with the 9/11 tragedy, combined for like 3 years of bear market. And when we came out of it, it was a nice period here, but then the index did pull back to the 50 here. It was in a power trend for, I don't know, about 4 months, and then it did pull back to the 50 there a little bit. So he just asked me to be mindful of that, and then it carries on higher, but just, short term, you got to be a little careful. Just depends on your time frames right now. If you're short term, you're probably going to be a little more inclined to, protect some capital. If you're longer term, I mean, holding NVIDIA and think it's the king of AI and going to go higher in months and years ahead, then you don't care about these wiggles and waggles, for the next, few weeks or months. So anyway, it's just about time frames. And the index was only down, what did I say, 49 points or 0.30%. That's because of stocks like Microsoft, propped it up. This thing made an all-time high today at 427.82. And when stocks, these mega cap technology stocks, go up like that, it's 3.1 trillion market cap now. That carries a lot of weight, but there was a ton of damage beneath the surface, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Here's Apple trying to form a bottom here, but it was up more than 1% as well. That these things are driving it masked all the damage in the index. Here's Google with an undercut of the 200, then rallying now above the 50. Now that looks pretty good for Google. It was up 2.37% today. Google, Qualcomm, and Intel just flatly admitted they're way behind NVIDIA, and they're going to combine to come up with some software to challenge NVIDIA. Good luck with that. See you in a couple years. So that one was good. Amazon was looking pretty good today as well. This is propping up the index. Amazon looks real good here, real strong, trending nicely. Meta Platforms was not, with all the news with TikTok and everything, I would think Meta would benefit from that. If the government decides to ban TikTok, these guys should be the big beneficiary of that, but who knows? And anyway, I did mention NVIDIA. This is some of the damage that I was talking about earlier on the 5-minute chart, just selling all day long. I mean, if you look at a little smaller frame, just down, down, down. It looked like when the algos got a hold of that headline of the PPI, it just seemed like they just turned on the switch and they just sold off all day long. Just didn't turn the switch off. Tesla, this is a good short right there at 205. Just one of the weaker stocks I can find. It's in a clear downtrend. It's going, there you go today. This is the day here, the 13th all the way down, the 14th straight down. Just a one-way stock right now. Anyway, and that's the good news. AMD, another technology stock here. Just, I tell you, on these days, you look for stocks to come down to moving averages and find support. Now, it did, trade below the 21, but I would still consider that, you watch that because it could rally back through there in the next couple of days, but it does look like it's going to come down to the 50 and, maybe with the Nasdaq too, but this is just sold off the last couple of days, just all day long. Just looks like the algos just turned on the sell switch and they forgot to turn it off. All right, I'm going to get to some of the stocks that are performing a little better. This is Permian Resources PR, nice base here. I like bases, and it's just trending higher. I don't expect this thing to go great guns. It's not going to trade like SMCI or NVIDIA, but it looks very strong and trending higher. That's what I like. I like stocks that are trending higher. So if your oil and gas stocks are your leading stocks, that spells trouble for growth stocks. We went through this all of 2022. This is Weatherford, making a new high today, then pulling back. I think Tidewater did the same, 88, 83. Yeah, it came close to making a new high and then pulling back throughout the session. But these are the stocks showing strength. FANG up, just trending higher. I mean, just a super strong stock. The volume isn't there, but we go by price at MC stock charts, and that price looks pretty good right there. New highs. Marathon Petroleum, new highs. This thing blasted out of a base, man. This thing looks super strong. So, little power from the pivot right here. Very nice for this oil and gas refining stock. So anyway, there's a lot of oil and gas stocks looking good. OVV, this is one that I have on the ready list. Nice cup with handle, nice little pullback today, getting a little closer to that 10. It's just 2% above that green line, that 10 EMA. So OVV looks pretty good as well. Seadrill is obviously a driller stock, just climbing up the right side of the base there. I had an early entry buy point, I forget, like 50, 51 or something like that. Not 51.50, 50.92, I believe. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's just a lot of strong stocks here in the oil and gas. AROC, ARTROC, forming this little, it's got this ascending base pattern here. And now it's got this 1942 standard buy point. That looks pretty good there for ARTROC. I was down 1% today. But these are the stocks that are holding up well. The insurance stocks, I'm going to go to some insurance stocks that are doing well. This is Ryan Specialty, and it's got David Ryan's little ants here that, when it goes up more than, I don't know, certain percentage, I don't know, 10% with, above average volume, and it goes higher like 12 or 15 days, something like that. Just shows momentum and strength, and Ryan certainly has it. Some of these insurance stocks look good. Gallagher here flattening out. I would say that 254 is definitely an area of interest for Gallagher. I had this one on our ready list a couple weeks ago there at that standard buy point, I believe 246, but that one's showing a lot of strength. Bro, my favorite ticker symbol, Bro. Pulling back to its 10 EMA, and this is what I'm saying on these days when there's sell-offs. Look to see if your stock is finding support, coming back to an area of support. It's got to bounce, though. It can't just come back to an area of support. It's got to bounce off that support. Looks like it tried to bounce in the last 20 minutes today. So we're going to watch Bro tomorrow. And then HIG, this thing has been a rocket ship, for an insurance company. My goodness, that thing is very strong. Broke out of that long period of consolidation. Now it's just been, making new highs. That looks great. Some retail stocks that look good. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the bad stuff. This is Turtle Beach. One of my followers was saying that they were looking forward to his earnings, and certainly it was rewarded here with a 26% move with over 2,000% above average daily volume. So congratulations. That's a big winner. Dick's was another big winner here. They announced earnings this morning, and or was it last night or this morning? I think it was this morning. Anyway, fantastic report. The CEO is doing a great job, and this was up 15% with big volumes. That is a move not to be ignored. Chipotle made a new high today. Just trying to highlight some of the strength in the market here. Pretty hard to find. Chipotle made a new high in Deckers. This was on our ready list. This is going into the S&P. It made a high there of 951, but then it pulled back. Yeah, closed 24% of the daily range. So it's not really what you want to see, but we're going into this quad witching Friday tomorrow. A lot of shenanigans and volume. It's going into the S&P 500 over the weekend. So this could move around. Same with SMCI. that stock's going to probably move around quite a bit. Okay, I wanted to point out a couple of names here. Here's ELF. Just all day long, this thing just sold off. I mean, just no rhyme or reason. It was down with light volume. I mean, maybe they want to pin it to 200 here. I'm just going to see where it, it's going to find support. Celsius made a new high this morning and then just pulled back. You can see it closing near the lows of the session there. Made that high in the morning and just retreated all day long. Pretty tough tape there. Okay, a couple of the software or some other types of stocks here. This is Coupang Retail Internet stock. I like this one. Oh, Pete brought this up to me. I forgot yesterday, and I like this. I put it on a ready list. Pulled back still. Okay, it's right. Just a tick below the 10 EMA there. So, allow these moving averages to catch up. Maybe trade sideways like it did here. Give it a couple days. So thanks for that, Pete. I appreciate that. Another one that was brought to my attention, actually, I wasn't really following this one, but definitely making higher highs after gapping out of this, cup with handle pattern here. Made that high of 21, pulled back to the 10, and then blasted higher the last couple sessions. That's PUBM, Pubmatic, Commercial Services Advertising stock. And it's going higher with, pretty decent volume here. So that one looks good as well. And then some of the, regular software names that just can't get out of their own way. This is Datadog. Below the 50, snow just keeps falling. The snowflakes are falling. My gosh. They just cannot find a bottom here. It's a 158. This thing makes Tesla look good. And then Monday, this one was showing weakness again today. Still, it's above the 50, trying to hang on to that 21 there, just a tick below it, but the software names are just not doing well. CrowdStrike, this is the one cybersecurity stock that's really hanging in there and still above its 10 EMA there. And if you just take out these couple of bars, it's just going sideways here. I wonder what this looks like on the weekly. Yeah, just these tight closes here. If you disregard the big spikes, you just concern yourself with the closes. That thing's trading pretty tight, as opposed to the Zscaler is just completely weak, and Palo Alto Networks, yeah, just no strength in any of these names. Okay, I got to get to the drug stocks. I warned you about these drug stocks, man. They're playing with fire here. This is Viking down 10% today. Doesn't look good in what is it? Madrigal, DGL. This one, there was some news about an approval, and maybe it got it this afternoon. It's up nearly 20% after hours. It was down more than 10% today, and the big loser was Spruce. This one lost 84%. 84% of its value. It's like going to go bankrupt or whatever. So you got to be careful with those stocks. I much prefer, stocks like Novo Nordisk, which just made a higher high and then just kind of flattening out, waiting these moving averages to catch up. Novo looks fantastic. Okay, that's it for me, except for I lied. I have one more thing. After the close tonight, Adobe reported pretty strong quarter, I thought, but it's selling off. So I got to look a little deeper at that. This thing's, wow, down 10%. So what, 510? So it's going to be below the 200, man. That looks bad. That's not good for the QQQs and the Nasdaq tomorrow. Man, that's going to hurt. ULTA had a good report. I looked a little deeper at that one, and it's still down 5%. But this is the problem with holding on to stocks at all-time highs as they go into the print. It's just ripe for profit taking. 537 would take it down to below the 21. So we'll see if it can hang on to the 21 about 545 tomorrow. It was a pretty strong report, so I don't really. The only reason why it's selling off is like, buy the rumor, sell the news. So, yeah, all the company can do is deliver the goods, and they certainly did. And I'm just going to mention a couple of names here before I go. That when stocks pull back, I'm expecting a pullback. I'm expecting a possible pullback of the Nasdaq to the 50, which is only 3%. But I'm looking for stocks that are finding support at moving averages, and it doesn't have to be the 21. It doesn't have to be the 50. A strong stock could be the 10. I'm looking for Coinbase to maybe find support here at the 10 and bounce. You gotta wait for the bounce. If there's no bounce, no dice. This is a Pure Storage, had fantastic earnings, went higher, and now is sold off like 4 days in a row. Looked like it caught a little bid there towards the end of the day, so I'm going to be interested in that one today. Yeah, not bad. That's not what I would consider a bounce yet, though. It's got to really move higher in this tape, especially. This is looking a little sketchy right now. Dell. Management selling some shares here, but it pulled back to the 21. Let's see if it finds support and can bounce there. Abercrombie and Fitch, another one that undercut the 21, then rallied back above it, now closed today 2.1% above the 21 and just a tick above the 10. So definitely a stock that I'm interested in. It showed a tremendous strength. I did show Square. Pull back to its 10. No bounce though. You got to wait for the bounce. Maybe it'll bounce tomorrow. I don't know. NVIDIA, I think I mentioned this earlier, just pull back to the 10. This is kind of, flagging, kind of nicely here. I know you guys holding it, you don't like to see it down $30 in a day, but it is making this, it's pinching in here kind of nicely. Same with ARM. This one pulled back to the 21. No bounce yet, but it's definitely, it's got this flag type pattern here, and if it could pinch in a little tighter around that 130 area, that would be productive, I think. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop there. I've been through AMD. I'm waiting for this one maybe to get some support at the 21. It's below it now, but we're going to have to wait and see. Anyway, I have more stocks tomorrow. When they pull back like this, one thing it does, it sets up the charts, better if you can take the pain for a couple of weeks or just get out and buy them after they set up. But we will see more chart setups with pullbacks because a lot of these have gotten really extended. And so the pullback is not the worst thing in the world. And like I said, even if the Nasdaq comes back 3% to the 50, if it does, maybe the end of March or in April, that'll provide some buying opportunities. So don't fret, some weakness for a couple of weeks. Anyway, tomorrow is the quad witching, probably going to be volatile. Just hang in there and never give up.